We
No,
are live. We are emailing. We are early.
we're early.
Things are
Barbara still
popping.
hasn't told me if I'm sitting right.
It says air going live. You look great. Hey, you got a new background. We're in a new place.
I
Nice.
moved because my downstairs tenants their bedroom is right under my office. So I thought, oh, they don't really need to be woken up on Sunday morning. Hi, Ann, welcome.
Oh, so something's working. Hello, Ann. Welcome. See, that just proves that something's working. I got to go update the number here. Hold on. I think we're on a different number than it says we are. So I'll just update that and see if it works. Who knows?
Well, it must be good because people are joining.
So that's good. That's what matters. Hello, I'm not seeing you. People joining. Where am I? You are.
I see you.
Interesting. Very interesting. So if I go to, let me just go to home and see what that shows. No, it says I'm live.
Could move closer there. How's that?
Okay. I see 4 of you are here. I just have, I may be on 2 different sessions. I can't tell.
Oh, great. Thank you, Tamara.
Thank you.
If you could see it, both of us and hear us, it must be good.
That's all that matters. So it just goes to show folks that sometimes we don't really have a clue what we're doing.
Yes. And I was going to tell you, Barbara, before we were live, but I'll tell you now the things we talk about beforehand. You will need to keep track of the attendees because I'm not on my computer.
Okay.
Hence the new background. And you can see my Yodas and my bookcases and stuff.
So now we know more about Kathy than we
It's a big reveal today with that little background there.
Reveal. See, we all have these secret, what's it called? Layers. We have a secret layer. Yeah.
Thanks, Linda. Yes, where we keep our secret collections of things. And I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I'm a Yoda fan. And you'll have to excuse me, everyone, if I sneeze and cough, but we have forest fires. We have forest fire smoke from Oregon.
I see how it works. Yeah,
that's how it works.
You have them from Oregon. Yeah, actually, the fires in Oregon are really scary.
The fires everywhere are just terrifying. It's just sad, very sad.
Very sad.
But Oregon is another beautiful place with tons of absolutely gorgeous forests. So it's nice they still have them.
It is.
Oh, Tamara, you love Star Wars. Yes. I'm not sure how old I was but it was maybe my late teens when the very first movie came out. So I'm more of a fan of Yoda than I am of Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Or Grog or whatever it's called now.
Whatever it's called.
I go for the original, the Mr. Learn, Unlearn.
Yes.
Or do or not do. Try. There is no try.
There is no try. Speaking in, remember when we were all doing how to speak like Yoda, and then we were all doing how to do lolcats, and then we all, had our thing.
And how to talk like a pirate.
That's right. This is culture that we're trying to preserve.
We need to write down.
Exactly.
About our life right now.
Yeah.
Tamara, you like Yoda? Yes, the original Yoda. Yeah.
The original Yoda.
Or he's little, but he's the main dude.
Yeah. Fun fact. My husband and I, in one of our first organizing efforts as a couple, had a gathering of some 40 friends to my little tiny studio apartment to have a Star Wars party the day it opened, back in the day when one could do this. And we sent a friend out to stand in line. Actually, a pack went to stand in line while the rest of us collected cash so that they could buy tickets in a batch. Yeah. We did it. We did it.
Yeah, you did all that. So I'm going to run and grab a phone charger because I've just noticed that my phone is close to.
Yeah, it's okay.
I thought I wasn't on the internet. I'll be back.
You must be on the internet. Before 11. So hello, everybody. You want to talk? Keep me company? Um, sorry, I'm not quite sure what went wrong. I like to say that I practice making every possible error in these live streams so you don't have to. So my guests don't have to. I once had a guest who got started without me, and I had to teach her how to add me on to the call. And then, well, this one, I think it was their error. I swear I did exactly as I always do. But somehow I then got a big message that said live stream error. So that says they're taking responsibility for it. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And then, so that's why you got 2 notifications, and I'm guessing that only one of them worked, but I can't even tell. So I am very grateful for all of you who found your way to us. And so today we have actually, usually for the first 15 minutes before we get started, Kathy and I chit chat about what are we going to talk about. And I just got in from the gym where I go on weekend mornings and started chatting up a neighbor who was complimenting me on my kitchen garden. And one thing leads to another. And how can I give up on a conversation like that? So we had a great discussion about rosemary.
And then Kathy turns it out and says, I'm all ready.
And then I say,
apparently one of them, since her phone is almost dead.
That's okay. So here we
because
are.
I'm not at my desk.
I do have to admire your antique cabinets with those drop shelves. Very
I love
impressive.
them. The barristers' bookcases.
Barristers' bookcases.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's
Wow,
too
those are
much
beautiful.
reflection, but underneath Yoda is my stereoscope and some cabinet cards and things.
Ooh. Well, someday I will have to come visit you with my one stereoscope image.
Yes.
Yeah.
So look at it.
Cool. Very cool.
There. Okay, so we should have power for the whole time. That's good.
Well, since you're here and I didn't want anybody to think we had abandoned them, I'm going to sneak over here and open a window because I got I have my hide everything.
Now everyone here so far, you now see what Barbara and I do in the 10 minutes before we go live.
There we go. It's not very far. Now you can see actually what's behind me. I did some work.
Yes, I see some plates or something on the shelves too. And, if you can see over this shoulder, there's something that has a big CN on it.
Yes. Wait. It's the railway, right? The CN
Canadian National Railway. It's my father's plaque he got when he retired. Wow. And I think that CN is actually made out, it's over top of a little, there's a little short section of rail underneath it.
Yeah.
And it's made out of a very heavy metal, so I don't actually know, but it may have actually been made out of a section of rail or something. But anyway.
Very, very cool.
I think he didn't quite make 50 years with the train, but...
I did with our, back in my days of telecom, working with Nortel and a lot of Canadians, I did learn how to say TCPL quickly because TCPL was everything.
Yes.
For my Canadian.
Well, and I still say CN. It's not
the CN Tower?
It's all purchased now. It's now Canadian Pacific KC. What's Kansas something? So it's a national railway now. CN as the railway company doesn't exist anymore. It's Canadian Pacific KC, CPKC, who are international. So there's a little bit of trivia for you for the day. And they do something wonderful that if you ever see it coming your way, they do something called the holiday train. And I know they go to parts of the States, maybe not quite far south as you are, Barbara, but they have the holiday train. It's an entire train completely decorated in Christmas lights.
Aww.
And one of the boxcars is set up as a stage. So they stop at various locations, like where there's in town, they stop at our one of our rapid transit stations and they open up the stage and people perform and entertain. And you go stand there, and it's quite often like local artists or Canadian artists. Hey. And you go and stand there out in the snow and cold and get the best show you ever got. It's a photographer's dream because it actually stops. So maybe I'll try to find a picture of it for you for the notes.
Well, thank you. And these are memory building. They really are. I was just going through.
Hi, Lisa McGuire.
Hey, So yes, you just joining. What are we doing here so
And
early?
Bill,
I know
and
it's
Bill,
true. We joined. We made a mistake. I'd like to say we didn't, but we probably did.
Substack
That's
or
good.
Zoom,
What are you
even though
gonna
we're
do?
not on Zoom.
Good
Good
morning
morning,
from
Linda.
Tucson. Yes, on behalf of the West.
This is
We are
kind of
out
good
here
though, because
representing the
we're
West.
able to see who's coming in and talk to them before we're supposed to be talking about the topic. I'm kind of enjoying this because I can see everybody's comments right now.
That's true. And, once again, as usually you remind me of the topic before we get started. This time we're having to see what happens when Barb wings it.
Luckily, I printed off because as I said, I'm not in my computer. I'm in a different room. And so I actually printed off my note page so I at least can say the title correctly.
There you go.
Oh, hi,
Now,
Bill.
you said you're not on your computer, but you obviously are seeing all of the chats go by. Huh?
Yes, on my phone.
On your phone. I see. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
So the trick is when you're doing Substack Live on a phone, it just blips by and
it
you're like,
just
"Oh,
keeps
it's just
going
gone."
by, and I can't go. I can't go
So
back and see anything.
any of you, because otherwise you're doing all of this on the screen. Doesn't look good. So all of you,
Well, Wicked
welcome.
Sommelier, welcome.
Welcome, Wicked. We're glad to have you. So as we are all coming together and getting started and not arguing about what's east and west of what and who's to blame for what fires, apologies to everybody everywhere for the terrible air, the heat, the fires, the storms, the flooding, everywhere. Yeah, enough about that. So let's talk about preservation. Let's talk about our stories. Let's talk about our families and the little secrets of how we keep stuff private. I caught
Ooh.
myself in a conversation today about, or just over the last few days, a conversation about, actually, was it you, Tamara? Might have been a conversation about the Empire State Building and Legos. And I found myself about to divulge personal information in a casual conversation in social media because that's exactly what that would have been. And it is so
Mhm.
easy to
Yep.
do in social media. It is so easy because we're bonding by releasing little tidbits of ourselves. But taken together, it tells more information than would appear in formal records. So, what do we do about that?
Well, and what we're going to talk about on Thursday at Kathy's Corner is, um, to me, it's kind of a continuum because and they may be two continuums. I'll have a nice graphic for you on Thursday. It's still in Kathy's brain, but it's kind of a continuum from total privacy to no privacy at all and we're talking about with our digital world. And the crossover is convenience versus difficulty in keeping everything private. But a lot of it, I think, Barbara, what you talked about now, there is the importance of thinking about it and reading it. And I'll give you the first tip that we're going to talk about a lot on Thursday, that this is going to be the one where you're going to go, oh, please tell me I don't have to do that. But it's reading terms and conditions. Because I see I'm still hanging out on Facebook. I've got a little thing from my scrapbookers still hang out on there. So I'm there and my family. So I don't think I'll get them to move. But every so often I see someone will post a thing and say, I do not give Facebook permission to use my photos or my information or anything for any purpose. And I'm like, lovely, but that does no good, because when you signed up for Facebook and clicked on that thing that goes by that says, please agree to our terms, you gave them access to everything. And I think that's what I want to talk about on Thursday in a whole bunch of different things, and also specifically with our photos and where we keep our photos and our photographs of memorabilia and our digital idea of our digital life, is the importance of doing that and knowing. And I saw something, I've got to write a post about it, but I think some people may have seen it, but Instagram, in that same universe that Barbara doesn't like, but, and no longer participates in. And that's another decision to make. And that's what we'll talk about on Thursday too, is
I haven't
this.
deleted all of my accounts, to be sure.
Yeah,
But
and one of the things they just did automatically without really saying, they didn't say, I never got an email from them, but I have to confess, I have quite tight settings on my email, so a ton of it just flies into junk, and I scan the junk and go, oh, that's somebody else I subscribed to on Substack. I got to move that to the not junk
not
folder.
junk.
And then now that I'll tell you the story in a minute, that we've had a big release of our personal data here in the place I live. I've got a ton of junk mail again. And so it's like, okay, I've got to block these because I look at what's just junk and what's spam. But it's Instagram just there's a little switch in your settings, and it's turned to, by default, it's on, that says Instagram can use your posts, your reels, your photos, whatever you put on Instagram in any way they want. And others can use them if they want. So if I post a reel, somebody else can take my reel, manipulate it, do whatever they want with it. And I'm like, we like that. And I think they're pushing us, that particular universe is pushing a certain line on transparency and stuff. So that's something else we'll talk about. But that's one of the things, because I see that post very often where people, and these are intelligent people. These are people who see that and go, wait, oh yeah, I better do that, because if so and so's doing it, I better do it too. I better say, Facebook, you can't use my stuff. And it's like, hate to tell you. So what happened to us? And you have to look at the source of where all your information is, and our information is everywhere. And the one I mentioned that I'm now being entertained by a ton of phishing scams. Elections Canada, where we have a national organization, and when you go to vote, you have to register and show your ID and all that stuff, and prove you're a citizen in order to vote, and all that data is saved. And I was unaware of this. Again, I should be looking up. I just thought, oh, Elections Canada, that's fine. And so in the place where and so we have different states, and our provinces are like a state. So where I live, Elections Canada, apparently somewhere, they can release your information to political parties for them to be able to contact you and send you their promotional stuff. So ours got released. We have they are a registered party. They're called the Republican Party of Alberta. And they think we should either not be part of Canada, or we should be an independent country, or part of the US. And I'm not even going to get into the political stuff about it. However, not somebody I wanted to have my information. And so what they did is they applied, as they had the right to, and got all the whole voter list. And then at their little meetings, they started posting private names, addresses, and phone numbers of outspoken people who are outspoken against that idea, of politicians, former politicians. It's like, yeah. And since that's happened, my volume of junk mail has, like, one day I went, I had like 22 scams and they're all using things like Costco, or they're coming from Costco. Amazon I had a great one that I almost fell for, is right after, I don't know if it's not the real Prime days, but there was a 10-day deal, like Summer Prime or something. And I popped into my junk, Amazon. We've extended the deals for 10 more days. And I went, oh, okay, I wonder what I missed. And I clicked on it, or I opened it up. I opened it first. And then I looked and I went, that's not Amazon. That's not Amazon. So I immediately closed it. And I went and looked into my Amazon account and went, yeah, no, this is another scam. But it's tough these days. Like,
check the domain. I mean, you'll go through, I'm sure, long list of things. Rita chimes in here with, I heard Instagram pulled back on this because there was such a backlash.
Good.
We'll go through what's true, what's not. But I think probably one of the most important things is sources of trusted information.
Yeah.
And things like domains is a really important thing to be looking at. Who are you talking to, and what is it they want from you, and what
and
validation
I've got this one
can
coming
you get?
that's in Italian. And I don't even know. I haven't even bothered to Google the company because I just keep deleting it, because I'm pretty sure I have no interaction with any company or any person in Italy.
You're missing out. You're missing out.
They do every time. It's the same header. It's the same name of the company, but every single time their email address changes. And the domain name changes. Like the domain name changes by one letter. And so in spite of blocking them, they just keep coming. So it's just, And I got one of the, if some of you may have had this happen too, I got one of the calls the other day and I pick up the phone and we have a landline still because, my husband is not a fan of cell phones and he goes on the extreme risk end in terms of a smartphone. He doesn't even want one near him. So we have a landline and so I pick up the phone. He goes, Grandpa. And I'm like, okay, I get it. I have kind of a deeper voice and a bit husky. And if it happens to be allergy season, it's even huskier. And I said, sorry, you got the wrong number. And Grandma. I said, nope, still the wrong number. And I hung up. But it was like, that's a scam. Yeah. It's somebody's going to, and if you happen, you might and go further. And someplace they use AI to record your voice for places where you have to, if you've got security things like that you're using with voice activation or voice for the security, then they'll just manipulate the recording of your voice and use it nefariously. And so it's so easy. I was back in the day when it was, this is Windows calling. And again, this was years ago because now I don't even answer the unnamed callers anymore, but Windows calling. And I'm like, okay. And so this fella starts saying, and he goes, we got a note from your computer that things are, it's all messed up. And
that one.
go in and look. And this is like many, many years ago. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I hadn't twigged because you're just thinking, you're in the middle of doing something else. And so we got down to the point where he says, oh, open up this file on your computer. And I did. He goes, see all that stuff. And what in fact it is the registry of everything you're doing. It's not like it's just plain old, you'd know better what that was. And then then he says, okay, you need to send it to me. I think so. And so I was like, who are you again? And at that point, I just hung up and went, okay, you almost got caught again. Smarten up. And so now I say, Windows calling. And I said, Windows doesn't phone. Like Windows is a software program, which it's like saying, hi, it's Substack calling.
Bill Gates. No, not going to happen.
Bill's phoning you today.
Bill's calling. Speaking of Bill, our own Bill Moore has this who is, by the way, a remarkable IT professional, chimes in with never answer a question with yes. Yeah. Because your yes will be their justification for saying that you approved a purchase or service. Yeah. Period. You don't say yes.
Yeah.
Busted. So, Kathy, your focus has always been on our materials, our stories, the artifacts, the collections that we develop to tell our family stories. What's that got to do with privacy?
Well, for me, it's a light bulb moment because I don't know everything about privacy and computer security, but I am the photo managers offer a privacy advocate program. And so I've been taking training, and the woman that has developed it leads the training, and we have calls every 3 months to keep us up to date. It's probably not enough. We probably need them every day, but we all don't have that much time in life. So I'm a certified privacy advocate. And it was done through the photo managers because when we digitize all this stuff, it's much like when you go around in your house at night because of all the valuables in your house and you make sure all your doors are locked and you shut your windows and you close your garage and all those things you're supposed to do. And you're not supposed to keep your remote in the car. And we have garages attached to our houses, so it's lock the door in between. And it's just
that's a garage for the Americans online.
I just saw that. It's a what?
It's a garage here. That's okay. Keep going. It's a garage. No, whatever you said. Garage.
So it's the same with your with the stuff you've digitized of your personal items. Is it where we did a long time ago, we talked about different storage options for our photos. And I'm going to go back and look at that because one of the categories we had in there was privacy. And I'm imagining quite a few things have changed since then. So I may find that spreadsheet somewhere. Barbara probably has it somewhere. And I'll have a look at that this week and see it. Look at what else has come up and just to talk about where are we keeping all that information? Because if you keep it in your house, that's very secure from hackers and anybody who has digital things, but doesn't do much good if somebody breaks into your house and takes your whole computer or, heaven forbid you're in a fire and you lose everything. So we need the same kind of conscientious about our security and I think now too for us with those of us on Substack who probably everybody here who have paid public posts and public things, and not something that Barbara drew to my attention when we were initially trying to decide what the session would be now, and that's how much are you disclosing, and like you said, how much am I disclosing of personal information
Very
in a
easy.
blog I post publicly?
In a blog
How
you
much
post
if I
public, in
throw
a
up a
comment.
photo
Yeah.
if I throw up a photo, is my phone taking, like most smartphones, you could have all the metadata right in the photo, which is lovely when you're trying to organize your photos to have all that information at the click of, like, just look, oh, there, that's what day I took this picture, yada, yada. But also when you're posting something publicly, are you sharing that information with the world? And like, I take tons of pictures of, I live on a lake, I'll confess, and it's a man-made lake. So it's not like a big wilderness area I live in the middle of the city, but we have a lake and I love to take pictures of the lake. So, and I post them on Facebook because we have northern lights and I post them quite often when they're happening so that all my friends in the neighborhood could go outside and look. It's a quick way to tell them, but I have to, is that turned off on my phone? From some of the
Not
pictures I
only,
post, you
yeah,
could,
not
if you
only
knew where
that,
I lived, you could find my house easily.
but Kathy, the thing is that unlike even 2 years ago or a year and a half ago when you first posted that spreadsheet, that Google sheet, in that amount of time, since I believe it was November 2023, the bloom of accessible AI to just about anybody to
Yeah.
put together these facts, it's
Hmm.
breathtaking. You can have a topic about where you were born and how that has changed how you feel about things. And guess what? Everybody's going to chime in. Well, I was born on a small island. Nobody's ever heard of it, but it's in Skegsfeld. Skegsfeld is in this the year I was born in 1937. It's amazing because blah 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 blah. And my great-grandmother, and pretty soon that combined with everything else that we already know and the things behind me on the shelf. By the way, none of that was true. I was not born in 1937. Um, you can put together
Oh,
and say, "Oh," right? And now,
yeah.
well, anyway,
And
we don't
it's
have
not
to scare
necessarily even
ourselves.
like, because you think at some point, well, who would want my photos? Like, who's gonna? But it's not the photo itself; it's the information that might be included in it, in
Or
or that you can glean just from the photo.
also, as you disclose all this information about young children, unintentionally and
Yeah.
lovingly because you're the
Mhm.
grandparent or whatever
Yeah.
else, that child then 10 years from now is famous for something or other, and all of your information is still public.
Yeah.
It's not about scaring anybody.
No,
It's
not at
it's
all.
it's about and it's not just for famous people, and it's
No.
not it's just ordinary things and ordinary cautions that all
And
of
I
us
think
here
being aware
are.
so that you're
Yeah.
making conscious decisions to do things. And as I was thinking about this before we went on air, I was thinking, do you know what? I post like I have private Facebook for my personal stuff, and I post tons of pictures. And I have sections at one time before Christmas for my family. I posted a whole bunch of pictures of it's my Ghosts of Christmas Past, and I post a whole bunch of pictures that have been digitized because of sharing pictures from Christmases of our family. And I was thinking this morning, I thought, I can go into Facebook today and delete all the pictures for two reasons. One, Facebook compresses your pictures. If you're storing your favorite, your photos are being stored on Facebook. Don't do that anymore. Please, please, please. Security aside, they're compressed until if you'd like to print them, you can make a postage stamp. So all the pictures I posted, I probably have, because what would I'm the only one posting there. And they're terrible. They're poor resolution, and if I ever needed them again, it's not a backup. Like, have a real backup. So I thought to myself, I could go
And an
and
archive.
clean all my photos out, and then I don't have to worry about um them being used for anything. Does that mean I'm going to stop posting? That's going too far for me and who I deal with. But, well, yeah, Facebook's got them all anyway. So, but at least I'm getting them off if somebody hacks my account.
And to be clear, just because you delete them doesn't mean they're not there.
Oh, yeah.
Because anytime, and this is true also of places like Ancestry, you may delete them, but they're still there, and those terms of service ensure that that's possible because it's in the nature of building a social platform. They have to do that from a social platform perspective.
Yeah.
But you pull it down, anybody that reposted, anybody that commented on it is probably still able to see it. And
Yeah.
that's just you can't talk them out of that. You can't make that go away.
No.
And even when you delete things out of like photo storage platforms, many of the
Yeah.
photo storage platforms are also still there.
Yeah. Which
in
again is
their
the
system.
importance of reading those terms and
Yeah.
conditions of anything
Well,
you use.
to be clear, part of what I want to be sure is clear is that any in the way platforms are built, the way photo storage becomes cost effective is with glacial storage. So upload once, parked forever,
Yeah.
not touched, and it's not moving in and out because the moving in and out is processing, and that's the expensive part that makes their business model not work.
Yeah.
So you delete it, and the one end of it is gone. But if for some reason there was something really important in that thing that you deleted because it was a Jackie Onassis did something or other, and now the world wants to know what happened to it, forensics can go back into that
Yeah.
glacial storage and still pull it out. So,
Yeah.
as they say, if you really want to keep something secret, don't tell anybody. If
Yeah.
you really want to keep something private, don't ever put it in any kind of cloud storage anywhere, no matter how private
Yeah.
you think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And that's that continuum.
yeah, it's a continuum because
Between
for
the
practicality,
risk
we wouldn't have
continuum
these
between
conversations.
risk and convenience, but it's again knowing, and that's what I want to talk about on more in detail on Thursday, is knowing these things. And I think, Barbara, we're going to talk a bit about what we're sharing in our blogs that we're posting now, because we're storytellers, and that's sort of what that was like. Oh yeah, good point. And I know Paul Chittick's had a little post just about on the topic of Lego, about how he decided he'd tell us about another aspect of himself, is that he's a big, huge Lego builder. And I said, oh, wow, I've got more Lego in my house than you could imagine. And, but now I've revealed that in both Paul and I now, okay, so we've got it. Like my kids are going to turn 30. So the Lego we have that they got when they were kids is probably some of it not even made anymore. And
Like,
now I've said that we have it. And so I've revealed that just in a note. And would I have not done that? No. And that's the thing between the whole risk thing. But you need to be conscious
yeah,
about what you're posting and sharing, and particularly the things that might give away location. And I know, like MailChimp, I think it is, that I have been using for a while and trying to not use anymore, because I like free platforms. And there's and we'll talk about that on Thursday too, is free, sometimes not very free, but I have to post I have to have my address on the bottom of my emails to meet some countries have restriction. We're going to talk about that too, because there's a big difference between in privacy and security between countries, and I think in the U.S. states, because I think a lot of your privacy, like my son lived in the States for a while, and he's a dual citizen, and he got his social security number stolen. And I said, well, what happened? Like, for us, we have a social insurance number. To get that hacked, it's a big deal. Like, it's like, what happened? It's like having your election information released. It's a big deal. And he said, well, he goes, you have to give it everywhere. He goes, I had to give it to the gym. That's probably where it got hacked from. And I'm like, you have to do what? And so I have a site that we got, which you may or may not know, but I'll share it on Thursday or put it in the notes, where you can check your social security number in the US and either remove anyone that has it that shouldn't have it. And I'll look more. Barbara's looking at me perplexed, so I'll find out more about that. But I have a link to this site, and I'll figure out what it does for you. But we did manage to check and get some security put on that. But it was just like, if you have to put that everywhere. And now I was at a different, I just dug myself up a new doctor, and I was having some tests on Thursday. And now my old doctor was still apparently using paper. But all the new doctors are using something, and I believe it's called Scribe. It's a medical program that's run by AI. And so now, both with my new family doctor and that place that did my tests, I had to sign something that acknowledged I was aware they were using scribes and everything else. That's good, Linda, because my son, this was only like about 5 years ago that he got asked at the gym for his number. But
back in the day, you'd even put it on your checks, which is kind of
uh,
crazy. But yeah, no, she's absolutely right because of the ways in which those have been scammed
yeah,
in
yeah.
10,000 ways.
So
And
that's another thing is, do I tell the doctor, nope, sorry, you can't use Scribe? Well, how does that affect my care then? Like, then do I have to find another doctor who's still writing on paper?
yeah,
And so it's risk versus convenience. I kind of want, I want all that medical information that we did on Thursday. I want that all to be sent to my doctor so she can
yeah.
see it without them writing her a letter. So it's
Let me
that
insert to
continuum.
let me insert to the risk and convenience point is that anybody that is purporting to offer to secure all your information for you is themselves questionable. So, yeah, the checking out the checkers is always a good idea as well.
Mhm.
Why that was what that face was about when you said
Yeah.
you enter your
No,
Social
I think it
Security
was a
number.
site where you could check to see who had your number.
I understand, but there's lots of
I'll look
reasons
it up
why
because
they did.
it was
Oh,
given to
you
me
will.
during the privacy course, so I suspect
You
it's a legit.
no, no, no,
It was a
you
legit
will.
because
I'm not questioning that site, I'm questioning the category in general.
oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's an easy hook, and always a dangerous one, and that's why trusting knowing where your information's coming from
Yeah,
and
exactly.
knowing the people that you're working with. Um, and yeah, see, Linda Stufflebean points out it being the Social Security number used to be her university
Yeah,
ID number, and for a
yeah.
long time, it was all of our medical information numbers. Bill says, "When you enter your number on those sites, you have opened your back door." That's exactly right. So that thank you for putting it so much better, Bill. Oh, so SSL is something I imagine you'll also talk about is the secure SSL, secure it ensures the certificates on the identities of a website that you go to, which is why Chrome won't let you into many sites. It says, "Yeah, you don't wanna go here. I'm sorry, turn around. You don't wanna be here."
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh, no, I don't. I'm
We'll talk
sorry."
about things like password. We're going to talk about passwords and password managers and things like that. Besides, the security of the website, but also what are how I've got some numbers on how fast if you've used your like your date of birth, probably not the best thing to use for a password, and we'll talk about that and what. Yeah. Well, my husband uses a variation of the same two words with different numbers after them. So I'm working very hard to break him of that habit, but he's got to get a new computer and it's got to get a password manager put on it because I'm like, please do not use 6-letter words with one number as our bank password. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
You may
It's
have to check up on your family members too. So
yes, that's right, because they are the weakest link. The weakest link. So again, just to bring this back to the point of your family stories, your family history, because what is family history but this whole a whole tapestry of personal information, and it's all woven in there from the names of your pets to the home addresses and all of those kinds of things. But it's also can be the keys that will unravel just a mess of personal information. My sister had kept all of her credit cards and personal passport, driver's license, and things like that in her photo collection because it was really convenient to have on her phone all the time. And then her Apple ID was hacked. And,
mhm,
that is a gift that keeps on giving, boy, that and
yeah.
the worst part was that the hack, um, continues to creep in all sorts of different ways. And this is another family member for me, by the way, no personal name connections. So
Yeah. Yes.
that was a very big hack that a lot of
Yeah.
people were trapped
Yeah.
into that Apple had to really respond to. It's probably at least 5 years ago,
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, and the other thing too with like your social security number, unless you've got a new one, all the times maybe they don't ask for it anymore, but all the times you wrote it down somewhere, it can go away unless you've got a new one, which I don't know if you can even get, but it's like you say, these things go forever. Like even if you don't have to do it anymore, you've got to know that those things are there,
Right.
that any information that you've put out, it's going to still
Right.
be there.
So this isn't doomsday. This
No,
isn't
no,
don't
no.
ever
This is
do. This
no,
is all about why what we do is important. But
yeah,
it's also why, looking after loved ones who may reach a point where they're not quite clear on what they're doing and making sure that they get the help they need to be able to do the important parts.
yeah.
Even as technology keeps chasing the bad guys with another
Mhm.
another layer of complexity.
And
Like,
it gets
yeah,
harder
passwords.
and harder every day. There's just so many things. I had a friend of mine who is older than me, and she claims not. She's quite computer savvy, but some a joint area that we work in has everything on Facebook, and she didn't want to be on Facebook anyway. Joined Facebook so she could get this information we need to do our job, and one of her and she got her thing hacked and ended up with one of her clients giving their credit card number to the hacker and getting charged, like trying to say losing money. That's what I'm trying to spit out. So yeah,
And
exactly. I
reputation.
don't know who said that, but with free stuff, you're the product. Totally.
That's right.
And so she is just completely, but when I checked to try and help her, because again, they say, oh, well, we're going to post all this information on Facebook. So you just join, but she had her page and her friends list public, just
Yeah.
because everything by default on these places isn't secure. They don't start with the most secure and then you go the other way down. They start
Yeah.
with the absolute least amount of security for your information. And then you have to try and secure more.
Yeah.
And I know
You
a
know,
difference, and I don't know, maybe it's changed in the US now, but with cookies and websites, with our privacy legislation here in Canada, every time I sign into a website, I get a pop-up that says, do you want to accept these cookies or manage your cookies? And I can go in and turn off everything except the ones that need for you to actually
strictly
look at the
necessary.
website. But
Yeah.
its default is off. Default
Yeah.
is not on. And that's part of our legislation. So
Yeah.
it makes it quite easy. And did I like it better when I could just go on a website and it would say, do you accept cookies? And so I didn't even think about it, went, yeah. But now, because I'm more aware, I'm like, okay, they don't need access to all this stuff. They don't, just for me to look at their website. They don't need to know all the other not strictly necessary cookies. So we'll look at that too. And I don't know if that started in the US or not, but I know here it's an audit. It wasn't at the time we talked about it in the privacy course. It was Europe, the European community, and Canada, and I don't know about the other Commonwealth countries. Well, but
California's been real big on that side.
yeah, because yours is state by state, so it could very well be some states, not all, but it's and until you see that, you don't think, oh, I never even thought about what, we use cookies and you're thinking, okay. And okay, generally, well, they keep some information and they use it so that when I come back the next time, I don't have to wait for the whole thing to load again. But actually, there's way more to them. So again, we don't want to scare you. And it's came up in some other discussion with Lori. I think it was when you and Lori were going somewhere. I don't know. But Lori was going on a big Lori Olson White is always on a trip. So, and I mentioned that we had talked. In one of my privacy sessions, we talked about data blockers and the danger. And I don't know. I've flown a lot of time and just tried to charge my phone and plugged it right into the USB charger in my rental car, in my hotel. And I didn't realize that they can put devices in there to hack your information.
And
And
by
so
the way,
there's
so though the answer seemed to be this data blocker thing, 2 risks there, 2 not so obvious risks there. One is that hackers make data blockers. So they go ahead and plug it in, I'll take your information. The second one is switch to AC. Use
yeah.
your AC
Well, that's the other
adapter.
yeah, that's the other thing.
It's like, just
I
say
guess my
no.
point being, if you don't know that, and that
Yeah,
was like Lori said, "Oh, I
yeah,
never even thought of it." And so that's sort of what I want to do on Thursday is talk about that. So,
yeah.
but
Scary things in the world today. Just as I
yeah,
was
but it's
chatting with a
awareness.
neighbor about little children and telling little children not to eat the fruit on neighbors' plants. You just don't know what it is, and certainly not when you're going for a hike. Those little mushrooms look so sweet. But yeah, no. You know, it's just it's a part of a new digital reality that is special in the family history space.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the thing to keep coming back to here, that
Yeah.
though this may be largely a community of people of a certain age and we're all friendly and ask each other warm and friendly questions and get engaged in all of this, um, just a little care in
Mhm.
interactions can go a long way, and that
Well,
also means care to protect your friends,
yeah.
from the
And
bad
I
guys
think
too.
the good and bad, Substack's getting more popular. The bad is now there are people there where you, if you're, well, I don't know, maybe men get it too from women, but if you're female, now you get a little message from, "Hi, I just joined
Hi.
Substack, and here's a bunch of pictures of me in my thing with me and my dog, or me in my my military uniform, and how are you today?" And I'm like, think I'm not even like, and that when we first got on Substack, never saw any of that. Instagram, almost stopped using because I'm like, oh, well, I took away my picture from, and I'm like, here I am, like hardly any hair left from cancer. Like, give me a break here, buddy. Um, can you say desperation? But I took
Th
off my
Those aren't their
profile
pictures.
picture and put
It's
an
not like
image.
it's not
I
like
put a
those
logo
pictures
up.
are them. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I
And
put a
also,
logo up
it's
because I was
not
like, okay, I don't need this kind of spam
it's not
constantly.
just the picture either, it's what they say
Yeah,
behind you. So talk to me
behind
about
you.
Yoda. How did you know I like Yoda?
Yeah,
What?
exactly, yeah.
Nobody knows that I'm into pictures.
And what usually you see behind my desk, just a big mess of stuff in a big pile that you don't know what is she doing this week? But,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, it's a
Good stuff. It's
different
different.
world, but it's and that's all we wanna do is talk about, um, what are some good practices to use when we want to, because it's kind of not a lot of point if you digitize your whole family memories all the way back from every single memory you have and make it all digital and then keep it in a box on your desk. That's the most like I say, this is the continuum. That's the most secure, and then you have to keep changing your hard drives out too because they fail, and now there's a shortage of those too. So the world we live in, but that's the continuum. Is that would be the safest? Is don't put them anywhere online. Don't put anything online. But then, unless your family all live in your house,
Staying safe because going outside is pretty scary.
coming back, yeah. Then, how are you gonna? You've got all this wonderful stuff, and how are you going to share it?
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
don't know if I think again it was Paul that had posted something, a picture of him when he was a child outside where you were in a little tub with a hose, joking about it. And so I found
Hot
my
tub.
segment, my picture of me in a bucket at my aunt's. And so that came from a family member who decided to start posting pictures, sadly on Facebook. So that, at least I can look at it, but, it's, you'd have to think about it.
Linda Stufflebean chimes in here with, for anyone who thinks they live under the radar is deluded. I can find living descendants of any one ancestor in less than 30 minutes, sometimes under 5, maybe if except maybe if their
Yeah,
name is John Smith.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
John S. Smith, she's got him. And that's actually, a really
Yeah.
good genealogist like you, Linda,
Yeah.
is a scary forensic, a scary bad guy researcher.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
But yeah. And when I need to find John S. Smith, you bet you're one of my first calls. You
Yeah.
and the
Well,
CIA.
it is especially now with all the DNA information and everybody DNA testing and posting all that publicly, like, it's, um yeah. That's something, Linda, I'd love to see you do because I loved watching. I can't remember her name, but there was a lady on a TV show who did that forensic genealogy, and I was just
Yeah.
fascinated. So
Yeah.
forget her name. I can
CC.
picture her, but
Yeah.
anyhow,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
very. It's a very good point, Linda. Yeah,
It's a very specialized set of skills. I can see rolling out the leather roll of skills, and you pull out the little devices.
yeah,
But that's exactly right. And, we leave a trail behind us, and, being thoughtful about it and mindful and careful. Linda's chimes in again with, my high school reunion committee was missing
oh,
23 members. I found them all, including 2 or 3 who had died. There you are. And that's,
yeah,
that's the skill being used for good.
yeah. And that's the
And
old digital footprint we
the
leave.
digital, yeah, what is the cloud? The digital cloud, that's, all around us like a
Mhm.
little, pen, and there we are. Okay, so we're gonna pick that back up again, looking
Yep.
at it both for good and for caution,
Mhm.
because, how will we be remembered if we are in that little box that gets digital rot, and you'll never be remembered either.
Yeah,
So, what
yeah.
are you doing? Alrighty. We'll
Okay,
talk on
wonderful.
Thursday. I'll get
Thanks
this
for
recorded
coming,
out in a
everyone.
couple hours, and we'll talk soon. Thank you, thank you. Okay,
Bye
take care
bye.
now. Bye. Yeah, here we go.